Good morning, everyone. Travis Witherspoon, Carter Cow Trading. This is your weekly update on the NASDAQ 100 E-mini futures. So hopefully this will end up helping you out when it comes down to your overall trading. Last week, what we ended up looking at was that we ended up seeing that the weekly ended up completing a ABCD swing. There goes your A, there goes your B. Market retraced back to a C area. Then after that, completed to a D extension and made a new higher high of 12,446. Since then, the market has retraced. And going into last week, we ended up having some strong push to the downside at first, and then after that, the bulls basically ended up controlling that overall area, which brought new light to what was actually happening to this overall move. So let's take a look at the daily, and let's talk about what ended up happening based off of this move. We can see that once this market ended up breaking the trend line, it ended up starting to push and created an ABCD swing itself, but it also started to make a descending channel within this overall area when it came down to this overall movement. And what I mean by that is we can see that this market hit a low price, went to a high price, went back to a high price, and then after that hit another low. Currently, right now, we're at a high price, and what we expect is that if the market remains to be inside of this channel, we should see another low going to the weekly 382, which is at 10,231 for this overall move. Now, we're going to see a little bit of pressure when it comes down to the overall move right around the 10,600 or the 10,500 area. That is a point of control. Just looking at it from a daily perspective, just going based off of the movement that has happened in March. So I do expect that we should see some type of retracement area from there or some type of bounce back area from there. But kind of like last week when we talked about this overall pair, I said that if we wanted to be able to get the best type of trading situation, we wanted to be able to sell right around the 1100 area. And we could be able to sell right around the 1100 area or right around this overall area. We could be able to sell down to 10,515 and be able to get a pretty substantial gain when it came down to that movement. Now, last week, if we're looking at this point based off of the 2 hour, we end up getting this counter trend line break for this move right here. And from that counter trend line break, was able to make right around $7,900 based off of this movement. Now, going into the end of this week, we see that this market basically ended up having a 100% retracement from that previous point. And I think that's because of the overall channel that we're seeing start to be created in this overall area. So here's the game plan going into this overall week. As long as the market stays inside of this overall triangle and rejects going into next week, with the market being at a high price, in the sell zone, then after that you will have an opportunity to look at being able to sell it towards the downside and still be able to target that 10,515 area, which is the 2 hour D extension, which will end up being close to the daily 382 for its overall movement. Overall, I do believe that this market is going to end up keep on pushing down to the weekly 382, which is at 10,231. But what I will end up doing right now, and I'm actually doing it while we're speaking, I'm going to end up looking for a counter trend line break to the downside. Once we end up getting that counter trend line break to the downside, then I will look at being able to sell and place my stop above the swing high, which will be the 50-day moving average. And then after that, look to target the 382 for the overall move. So hopefully this end up helping you out for your overall weekly activity and idea about what you're going to end up trading. If you would like, share, and subscribe, and send this video to people that you think will end up liking this video or will end up helping them out when it comes down to the overall trading. That's what we end up doing over here at Carter Cow Trading. And like always, plan your trade, trade your plan. I'll see you in the next video.